In this video, we are going to look at the examples in section 13-1. Sorry, this says 3-1, but this is actually 13-3. So we're starting here on page 4. We're looking at, we're asked to factor these trinomials with a leading coefficient of 1. Stop the share and we can look at these. So we start off, and I think that should be better. We start off with x squared plus 6x plus 5. Well, the trick to these is to list the factor pairs of our final term. And the factor pairs for 5 are either 1 and 5 or -1 and -5. Those are the only possibilities. In general, I will not bother listing those, listing both the positive and negative. I'll just see what we can get when the greater value is positive, and if it's a negative, then we'll know to switch the values. So here we've got x squared plus 6x plus 5. And if we want these to add to a positive 6, we need 1 and 5. So this is equal to x plus 1 times x plus 5. Next, we've got a -12. Okay, there are a bunch of different ways to do this. We could have -1 and 12, or -2 and 6, -3 and 4. And the last one would be -4. Well, -4 and 3 is just the negative of this one. But if we add these together, we see that -2 plus 6 is +4. So this becomes x minus 2 times x plus 6. Finally, we've got x squared minus 20 minus x. And we want to rewrite this as x squared minus x minus 20. So we're looking for the factor pairs of -20. We've got -1 and 20, -2 and 10, -4 and 5. That's it. Well, -4 plus 5 is +1. So if we reverse those and take -5 plus 4, we get a -1. And so these are the ones we want. This becomes x minus 5 times x plus 4. Moving on to the next set of problems. Here we've got a few different problems. In this first problem, we are asked to write the expression x squared plus 2xb plus ax minus ay as an alternative expression by grouping pairs of terms, and then we're going to write the expressions in factored form by using grouping. So we'll start with this first one. Okay, so we've got x squared minus 2xb plus ax minus ay. Well, I can factor an x from these first two terms to get x times x minus 2b plus a times x minus y. And we can't go any further than that because clearly they don't have common factors. For the next set of problems, we've got 4 problems where, for some of these at least, we can take it further. Here we've got mx plus 2m minus 4x minus 8. Well, clearly, if I group these two together and group these two together, my first two terms have a common term of m, and then I'm left with an x plus 2. And I've got a minus here because both of these are negative terms. 4x and 8 have a 4 in common. So that's 4 times, and we're left with x plus 2 again. Remember, we use that negative there on the 4 So it becomes a plus when we put it here. And of course, then this becomes m minus 4 times x plus 2. Next up, we've got y squared plus 2xy plus 3y plus 6x. Okay, well, I can take my first two terms and factor out a y. That's y times y plus 2x. And then from the second two terms, I can factor out a 3, leaving us with another y plus 2x. So when we factor it completely, we have y plus 3 times y plus 2x. Next up, we've got 3x squared minus 9x minus 7x plus 21. So from the first two terms, I'll factor a 3x, and I'm left with x minus 3. And then I will subtract, this is a minus 7 here. Minus 7 goes into both negative 7x and positive 21. When we factor that out, we wind up with an x minus 3 here as well. So that's 3x minus 7 times x minus 3. Finally, we come down to 2x squared plus 8x plus 5y minus 15. Okay, well, from my first two terms, I can factor out a 2x times x plus 4. From my second two terms, I can factor out a 5, and that's 5 times y minus 3. Clearly, there is not a common factor in the binomial parts we have, so we've done all we can with this problem. Next up. Now we're going to factor these trinomials with non-1 first coefficients using grouping. So we start by looking at the product of the coefficient of our square term and our constant term. So that's 6 times 60, 6 times 10 is 60. And now we want to find factors of 60 that will add to a positive 19. Well, I can do a lot with that, but just off the top of my head, 60 is equal to 4 times 15. Okay, so I rewrite this as 6x squared plus, 19x is equal to 4x plus 15x. So, and I'm actually going to write this as 15x first. It doesn't really matter, but, we'll do it this way. Plus 4x plus 10. Okay. So I factor out a 3x from each of these terms. And I'm left with an x plus 5. No, 2x plus 5. And I factor out a 2 from each of these two terms. I'm left with a 2x plus 5. So in the end, I get 3x plus 2 times 2x plus 5. Next, we've got 20 times 6, which is 120. And we want to find two numbers that multiply to 120 and add to negative 23. Well, after some consideration, 8 times 15 equals 120. So negative 8 times negative 15 also equals 120. So we're going to use negative, and they add to negative 23. So we're going to change this to 20x squared minus 8x minus 15x plus 6. Okay, so I start by finding a common factor in 20x squared and negative 8x, and that would be 4x. So it's 4x times 5x minus 2. I look for a common factor between negative 15x and 6. So that's going to be a minus 3 times 5x minus 2, which gives us in the end 4x minus 3 times 5x minus 2. Last one, we've got 10 times negative 15 is negative 150, and we want to find two numbers that multiply to negative 115 and add to 19. And those two numbers are going to be 25 and negative 6. So then I rewrite this as 10x squared plus 25x minus 6x minus 15. I find a common factor in my first two terms. That's going to be a 5x times 2x plus 5. And then I've got a negative 3 as a factor of my next two terms times 2x plus 5. Put it all together, and our final factorization here is 4x minus 3. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. That's 5x minus 3 times 2x plus 5. Problems, we are asked to factor these completely. So we just want to do everything we can to factor each of these polynomials. We start by looking at this 4x cubed minus 2x squared minus 6x. And right off the bat, I can say every term in here has a factor of 2x. So I'll factor out a 2x from everything. That's 2x times 2x squared minus x minus 3. All right, now I need to factor this next part by grouping. We are looking for a number that multiplies to negative 6 and adds to negative 1. Negative 6 equals 2 times negative 3. So that will work. This becomes 2x times 2x squared plus 2x minus 3x minus 3. That's 2x times 2x times x plus 1 minus 3 times x plus 1. Finally, that's 2x times 2x minus 3 times x plus 1. Here we've got 12x squared minus 27. Off the bat, I see that both of these terms have factors of 3. So this is 3 times 4x minus 9, which we notice is a difference, 4x squared minus 9, I should say, which is a difference of squares. So that's 3 times 2x plus 3 times 2x minus 3. Finally, we've got negative 18x cubed plus 24x squared minus 8x. I start by factoring out a negative 2x from each term. So that's negative 2x times 9x squared minus 12x plus 4. And that looks like a perfect square trinomial to me. If it's a perfect square trinomial, then negative 12x is equal to plus or minus 3x times 4 times 2, and it is. So we've got negative 2x times 3x minus 2 squared. That's it for this video. If you have any questions, please get in touch.